The Loved One was directed by Tony Richardson in 1965. It's the story of an innocent, or quasi-innocent, at work in the graveyard business of Los Angeles. It's based, of course, on the book by Evelyn Waugh. The script is by Christopher Isherwood and Terry Southern, both of whom had horrible experiences in Hollywood from which they drew for the film's opening scenes. Indeed, the transition from the movie business to the cemetery trade is seamless. After all, they're pretty much the same thing. Richardson was the director of The Loneliness of the Long-Distance Runner and Tom Jones. This was his first American film. It has an all-star cast. James Coburn is a customs inspector. Liberace sells caskets. John Gielgud and Robert Morley, members of the loathsome Santa Monica British colony. The film was shot by Haskell Wexler and edited by Hal Ashby. So it all sounds so good, in fact, that something has to be wrong with the package. And naturally, something is. The protagonist, Dennis Barlow, alias Barton, is played by one Robert Morse, who's actually an American. Mr. Morse really isn't in the same league as Jonathan Winters, Rod Steiger, Lionel Stander, and the like. The leading lady, Anna Jett Comer, in the role of mortuary beautician Miss Thanatogenous, is considerably better than her beau. The other problem is the script. As long as it stays put in the general vicinity of Waugh's novel, it's brilliant. However, when it strays too far, it ceases to be particularly funny. Southern and Isherwood have dreamed up an elaborate subplot which involves a teenage rocket genius. And the second half is peppered with characters like General Chuck Brinkman, who appear to have wandered in from Dr. Strangelove, which is okay, but The Loved One doesn't need opening up in the classic crass Hollyweird fashion. Ironically, the film falls into the same trap of erroneous commercialism which it parodies at the beginning. Nevertheless, there is so much good stuff here that The Loved One bears close watching. Some of the observations about Los Angeles are as apropos today as they were 25 years ago, although the film appears to have been made in the days before smog was invented. The film was much criticized at the time of its release for disrespect for organized religion. In the light of the recent adventures of televangelists like Jim and Tammy Backer and the Reverend Swaggart, the activities of Mr. Joyboy and the Blessed Reverend seem almost, well, devout.